Good morning, Peep and Peepettes, and everyone else. I hope everybody's well. Started out dead cold this morning, but it seems to be brightening up a little bit. So hopefully it'll be nice for a nice walk, whether down Meggies or up into town later, just to clear my head, bit of music and stuff. This video, this one, what I'm doing now, I'm a little bit perplexed. And I understand that everybody has their own personal stuff going on. Trust me, I know that full well right now. At the minute, my head's fucked with a lot of stuff. But it feels to me like the movement that we had has ground to a halt. Now, I know a lot of people have been bullied and threatened or are living in fear of police intervention for some of the stuff they post, some of the things that we do, some of the things that we say, etc., etc. But over the course of the last, I don't know how long, the likes of Paul, Danny, and now Richard Inman, I can't remember Danny's surname, and Richard Inman have all stated that they're not doing any more demos. Any more, they're still going to work to unite the nation, unite the kingdom and stuff, but they're not doing the demos. And they all claim, Richard Inman this morning when I seen him, still 100% backs Tommy in his fight for freedom and his fight for freedom of press and his fight for freedom of speech and all the things that go with it. But they're the figureheads. They are the figureheads of the movement. They are the ones that bring people together. They're the ones that gets us down south, down to London from up north. They're the ones that pull everybody together at the right time. And I just feel with the way things are going generally, how reform flip-flop from one to another. The only true person at the moment that's standing by any morals is Nick Tinconey. I could have pronounced his surname without seeing it, from UKIP. But the people that bring the people together, they're all stepping away. And like I say, reform, I wouldn't trust reform. I said earlier, or on a previous video, I wouldn't trust reform as far as I could catapult them. Labour, no. And unless Robert Jenrick gets the leader of the opposition's job in the Conservatives, then nothing's going to change there either. I think with Robert Jenrick in charge, the Conservatives could probably do a lot better and promote a lot more unity across the nation than under Kemi Badenoch. Fair play, she does her stuff and she gives Keir Starmer shit when he won't answer a question, but does she unify the country? I'm not sure. Robert Jenrick does. And I'd vote at the moment, other than UKIP, if I had to vote one of the major parties under Robert Jenrick, I would probably go Tory again. But like I say, going back to what I was saying, I know that Paul Thorpe gets a lot of shit every time he comes home from Spain. I think it's the last 2 or 3 times he's come home from Spain, he's been pulled over by the customs officers, hasn't he? Just to check where he's been and what he's doing and so on and so forth. And obviously that's has a negative impact on his family, his wife, his children, and his grandchildren, and so on and so forth. And I also know that he did do a video once saying that he was gutted that his daughter or his children was moving his grandchildren out of the UK because of how shit things have got. And I understand that. I've got grandkids. I'm not in their lives, but that's a different matter. And it's not the same thing as Paul's situation. But I do understand that feeling of losing grandkids, losing your children, your family. But I just feel, I think there's a risk. If the likes of Paul Thorpe, Danny and Richard Inman stop doing the demos, one of two things might happen. One will be we will become a completely meh society and nobody will care. And then in that case, Keir Starmer and the Labour government will have won. They'll have silenced us. They'll have shut us up. The other prospect is where it gets a little bit iffy and a little bit scary. If they're three, because they're the three main ones, in my opinion, they're the ones that promote it all the time, promote all the demos, promote all the movements, and everything. If they step away, as they are doing, and unless the entire system crashes, they could be taken over by, shall we coin Sir Keir Starmer's phrase, right wing extremists, and I'm talking extreme violent people that are bubbling under the surface at the moment. They're there, but they're keeping themselves a little bit hidden. But if there's a void to be filled, they could be the one that fills it, and we could go back to some of the histrionic problems that we had with the likes of the National Front and the BNP before it calmed down a little. I mean, them organisations and this potential new organisations make the EDL look like a regular run-of-the-mill party, a movement. So yeah, I'm perplexed and I'm a little bit worried that everything that we've done over the last, 10, 12, 15 years to highlight situations, to bring people together, to try and join the union of the United Kingdom, I'm just a little bit worried that it might all be in vain. And I did say when Keir Starmer started doubling down with his threats and his own ideology, we might not get to have another democratic vote again in the United Kingdom. I think we'll sell out to Europe first, and then we'll sell out to this one world government that I talk about, this globalisation. And I think we might just be seeing the beginning of the end of the United Kingdom as a democratic Christian nation. Anyway, I'll leave you with that happy thoughts on a Sunday. Take care, look after yourselves, look after your friends, your family, your elders, look after your relatives, look after people around your table, people near and far. Like I say, anybody in town that just needs a G up, just give them a quick hello. Might make a difference. And more importantly, look after yourselves. Take care, stay proud, stay loud. Peace.